What's going on, guys? Danny from Slow Restoration. We're in the 2024 GMC Denali Ultimate 3500 with Duramax diesel, of course. And we're getting ready to remove the Banks iDash because, well, it's just not good enough. They have a trade-in program for this original because, like a lot of people, and me included, bought this one in preparation, you know, while we're waiting on the other Banks products, Derringer being one of the big ones. Put this in, installed this. So we were under the assumption, and Banks also at that time was under assumption, that this was going to be fine, and we could, when the Derringer got finished, we could plug in and it would be ready to go. Unfortunately, not the case. So what the case is they have to switch this one out to an iDash Pro, which is a completely different operating system. It's supposed to be a lot better. And one of the other issues is they were continually updating this one to handle all the parameters with the L5P Series 2, but they just can't make it work. This one doesn't have enough built into it. So the iDash Pro will fix that. Like I said, we're getting ready to remove this and send it back. They have a trade-in, trade-up program, and what it boils down to, I think it's 120 bucks. You ship this back and you can trade up to the Pro, which is, I think it's $430 if you were to buy it outright, roughly. So I did update this one not long ago, and now you can actually see it shows lockup. We're in park neutral, but it shows torque converter lockup. So they did add some stuff to this, but it's not gonna be able to control the Derringer when that's released, and that was the whole purpose. I mean, it's nice to see stuff on here, but the whole purpose was to prep and have it ready to plug the Derringer in and actually make some good power with this thing safely. So let's jump into it. We'll turn the truck off. This will go to sleep. We'll go ahead and pop this out, unplug it. The good thing is we do not have to remove the wiring harness. It's going to be the same wiring harness. Banks did say they're going to send a new one with it, just because it's part of the kit. But to send this back for the trade up, well, let's just go ahead and yep, just pop that out, and we'll reach in the back here and unplug it. Once I unplug it, I'll show you how it came unplugged. We'll box it back up. They already sent a shipping label out, and we'll get this thing sent off, and hopefully it'll be a really quick turnaround. I'll have my new one, plug in the wires, pop it right back in. And we got it unplugged here, and this is all we're sending back. So I still have my original box. I'll put it in that and package everything up. Like I said, they sent a shipping label out already, prepaid, and there's a number you have to put on the outside, which is your individual trade-up number. But yeah, we have that out. Like I said, there's two harnesses you have to unclip, and there's just two squeeze tabs. It's a little tight because there's not much lead here, because you don't want a lot of lead because there's kind of a small pod. So it's safe to run it just like that. Doesn't look the best, but we just have two wire ends, and I'm gonna get that off in the mail today, and we'll get our new one as soon as we can. It sounds like they've been shipping them out pretty fast, and I'm sure you're probably curious if you have a 24 or 25 6.6 Duramax, or the I think it's a 2020 end up, or 22 end up, half ton with the Duramax, the small Duramax. So you go online, and I actually went through one of the Banks forums, and they just have a thing you click on, sends you to a spot. They ask you a couple quick questions. They give you a phone call, personal phone call, and they again ask you a couple quick questions, what truck you have, and make sure you're eligible for the trade up. And they do collect that 120 or 125 bucks, whatever it was, for the difference between this one and the Pro, and email out your shipping label. They tell you exactly what to do, and it's pretty painless. So pretty happy about the way it sucks to have to trade this in and install another one, but you know, the other option would be like removing this, selling it, trying to sell it, and then buying a Pro. So I'm glad they were actually able to take care of us, and it's a little bit more money, but the gauge is more money, so it makes sense. Now, yes, I actually could have kept this gauge and got the dual gauge pod and made this a secondary gauge, but I don't. What's on here is plenty for me. I don't really need two gauges, and the dual pod kind of, I mean, it makes less visibility. It's a little bit more bulky. It's not terrible, but I'm not data logging or anything like that with my truck. I'm just driving it and enjoying it, and enjoying seeing the extra stuff on here. So I don't know if my pedal monster will still work. Probably not with this gauge out, but I'll try it and see, let you know. But yeah, pretty painless as far as that goes. And again, it's not really worth it to me to keep this and buy a Pro. I'll just do the trade up, and if I ever decide to do a second gauge, we'll just rebuy one, but I really don't think it's worth it for me. And there it is, all boxed up. We'll put this box inside another box just so it doesn't get damaged, and we can put all of our labels on it. But off to FedEx to ship this off back to Banks. And instantly for you guys, seemed like an eternity for me just waiting for this to come back. Banks actually had a really quick turnaround, but we do have our iDash Pro system, so let's get this opened up. By the way, the pedal monster does not work without that iDash connected, at least the way I have it connected. If you do a standalone pedal monster, it probably would work, but connected to the iDash, it does not work while this is removed. So definitely be glad to have this back in. Let's get this open, get it installed in the truck. So opening the box here, this will be, let me get this situated here and actually get some lights on inside here. Up there a little bit. All right, so this will be a complete kit. So when you do your trade-in, you can keep your old harness. As you can see, I have my wires still run there in the pod, but this is really all we need to pop back in place, so it should be a really quick, easy install. But like I said, they do send you a complete kit, so you get the iDash Pro gauge, and then the rest of the install kit as far as a harness and all your goodies in there. So from what I understand, this didn't change at all. Here's your OBD2 port and your harness that comes up to the gauge, and we're not going to worry about fishing all that back through, because apparently it's the exact same cable, and mine is a couple months old at this point. So we're just going to go ahead and pop this back in place. I see the micro SD card slot on the Pro is at the bottom. Just looking for differences. I don't have my old one because I had to send it in, but I could have. I'm pretty sure it was on the face of it. And actually, is the screen a little bit bigger? Screen could be a little bit bigger. That's kind of nice. So obviously install is going to be very, very easy. We have these two ports on the back that we unplugged when we sent the gauge in, and we have our two harnesses which will plug right back in place. There is a third port in there, but we're not going to use that. That's probably for the Derringer. I wish we could use that, but the Derringer just isn't quite out yet. So we're still waiting on that, but let's snap this back into place. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to show you how to plug them in, but you have a 4-prong plug and a 6-prong plug. Same with your harnesses here, 4 and 6, and just literally pop the gauge back in its pod. And there it is. As soon as I plugged that 4-prong connector in, the gauge lit up. That's what we have. So we'll go ahead and fire the truck up, and that's pretty much the install on the, there it goes, booting up. But that's pretty much the install on the iDash Pro if you're doing the trade-in process. obviously you're going to have to go through and reset everything up. And the good thing about the Pro, there's a couple good things about it. It's a better gauge. There's more available support for it for the newer 2024 and up trucks. And this is what you're going to need when they actually make the Derringer available. I was trying to make sure everything, let's go ahead and fire the truck. I was trying to make sure everything was set up, ready to go, so the Derringer came out, I could literally pop it right in and be enjoying the rest of it. But fortunately, banks realized people were doing that and they made good. So with the trade-in process, it's very smooth and seamless, and they take care of you for sure. So you can see it's fired up, working. Let's see if I even remember how to do this. So this switches between the pages. So they have some preset stuff. I personally like the green. And we'll just get back to page 1. It's got the most stuff on there. We'll have to go through, and that's what I was getting ready to say. The newer gauge, in addition to being compatible with the Derringer when it comes out, also has an app. So you download an app on your phone, it makes setting up the gauge and even monitoring stuff that much easier. So I'll make a separate video as far as setting the gauge up and doing the app and all that kind of stuff, connecting stuff. So we'll end it off here. But yeah, we have our iDash Pro back. We're gonna have our pedal monster working again. Didn't realize how much I was gonna like the pedal monster, but it definitely makes a difference for drivability. And thanks Banks, and thanks for stopping by, the rest of you. Have a good day. All right, so just playing around with this real quick, I do like this layout much better. You don't even need these buttons over here, because if we hit these 3 little dots at the top, it takes us right into all of what this thing can do. So a lot quicker. iDash, yeah, we're gonna go into settings. Yeah, our vehicle right now is set to standard, so it doesn't know. It's reading some data, as you can see, but it doesn't really know what vehicle it's connected to at this point. So I believe we need to go into global B. We're gonna hit OK. Now the iDash is rebooting, so it goes into global B. And I'm gonna confirm all of this, but we're just playing around real quick. So that's back up. Connect. And now we're back up and we should be on global B. Now, as you can see, our intake air temp is now reading, and a lot of the other stuff should be. I don't really know what you can do with these. Layout, we can do whatever. Oh, okay, so now we can do an 8. That's cool.